the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
That was the most
intense,
probably groundbreaking
pre-podcast.
World-changing.
Discussion.
Don't you think? I think that I love to rub into our audience that everything that happens before and after the show is even better than the show itself.
I can barely fit in my chair at the moment with the amount of right? Emotional weight.
So much.
That is sitting on me with what we just experienced.
It is. I don't know how many days it's going to take me to recover, but probably 5 weeks.
5 weeks, about an hour a week.
About an hour a week.
2 hours. Sorry, an hour a day.
Hour a day.
Twice a week.
Till
for
5.
For about 5 weeks. It's about how long I expect.
Yeah. I feel
that's when finally this emotional weight will be released.
That's odd that you came upon that same number because that's exactly what it's feeling. Roughly,
so funny because
it's a guesstimate.
My expectation was that it would be 2 hours.
Yeah.
A day.
When we first started.
Twice a week.
Right.
For 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. But now I feel like it's going to last longer, but for shorter periods of time.
And I'm wondering why that decision would be made.
I don't know.
Feels personal.
It does. It feels like an attack.
Feels like an attack on us, on you and me mostly.
You and me mostly, not necessarily Veronica.
No, Veronica's.
She's fine.
I think Veronica wants half an hour increments over the next 20.
Absolutely. 2023.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Hey, Noel, what are you eating there?
Strawberries.
Strawberries.
Sorry about that, gang.
Yeah.
I know we love when I eat on the show.
He had a strawberry quota that he has to reach because we got the strawberries on Monday, and he was like, make sure I eat strawberries today, so I go through the ones that I buy.
Yeah, otherwise it's a waste of food.
And then we got busy. There's been tons of stuff. There's been meeting calls, have to do this, have to do that. And then a day goes by, and he didn't get to a strawberry. And he's like, I didn't get to a strawberry. And so here we are recording today, and you realized I'm behind. I got to catch up.
Miles behind. I haven't had a single strawberry all week.
I didn't have
so I have a bowl here.
Bowl.
So I could just eat a few strawberries.
Strawberries are great. I love strawberries.
I love them so much.
They're absolutely amazing.
I've been doing a great job on the cuties.
Yeah, you have. You are a cutie who likes cuties.
Or two a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great batch of cuties.
It's a great batch of cuties.
Cuties are
great
so
batch
good.
of cuties. And the banana's been pretty good too.
Yeah.
Am I the only one eating the bananas?
You are the only banana. Well, no, Veronica eats them too.
Yeah, I ate one today.
We're trying to up our health here.
Yeah.
At the Biofriendly Planet facilities.
Although, it's crazy, when I went and did my blood work over the holidays with the gout, my potassium was off the charts.
Potassium.
Yeah.
So you've been having too much banana.
I guess I've been eating way too many bananas. I don't know. I've been our 10 a day too many. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Jakey. It's too many bananas.
I think you're overdoing the health.
Cut to me just like in a field of gorillas, and I'm just like, hi everybody.
Hi,
Yayo.
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 It's another beautiful day here at the Biofriendly Podcast. And we're eating strawberries. We're having a good time. Noel, how's your headphones treating you this time?
God, I just use Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its?
Cheez-Its.
We need to get more Cheez-Its. Okay, that's what he said. Cheez-Its.
You don't ask me that question. I feel terrible. I don't understand. I'm laughing. I can only hear out of one of my flipping ears.
Because there's three adapters.
Driving me crazy. And I pull out this headphone and I have the wrong size cord plugged into an adapter to make it the right size, which is then plugged into an extension cord, which then goes into another freaking adapter on the other side of the thing to go in. And I cannot... Oh, well, now I can hear.
But it's because there's too many adapters.
I can't.
Don't move.
I can't with this.
Don't move.
I did not... I am a qualified professional.
You are a star.
Who's the star?
A star.
Of a hit podcast. In the environmental space.
Yeah.
Teaching the people the news and the information they need to know to change the planet and their point of view.
And you can't even hear yourself.
And I can't even hear myself.
You can't hear yourself. I know. And I'm sorry.
What kind of Mickey Mouse show are we running here?
What kind of Mickey Mouse? Who's about to enter the public domain, by the way.
They keep saying that.
They keep saying that. It's interesting.
Disney keeps coming up with new tricks.
I know. My son was the one who was telling me about Mickey Mouse going into the public domain.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what that means? And I was like, come on. I was like, Disney is not going to let Mickey Mouse just suddenly enter the public domain. And sure enough, if you research it, it's one of those things that's like...
It was supposed to happen 20 years ago.
They got a lot of protections and things that they put in place that you can't
They have plenty of ways to screw you over if you try to use.
It's like Disney is not known for letting things happen just casually. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, just use our number one mascot that we've used for 100 years. Yeah. So yeah, they're not. Anyway, that was a tangent about Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you were going to try to take it from them, you'd better be rich.
You better be rich. They have a legal loophole in there that will ruin your life.
Yeah, you'd better have the money to want to destroy what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And frankly, the kind of people who have the money to do it don't want to do it because they want to keep their trademarks and their copyrights as well.
Yeah.
And they're hoping that Disney can pull this off.
Yeah.
Rich people want this to work for Disney. They want Mickey Mouse to be protected because if it is, then they can keep telling every judge and every lawyer and everyone else that this is the precedent.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter that whoever created this died 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's no way. It's not going to happen. Nobody who could take up the case will do it.
Yeah. Agreed. They'll find a way.
And Disney will keep suing people and if they try to mess with it, and then those people will keep eating it on a loophole.
Yeah. Well, we need to get that same kind of tenacious legal action on your headphones. I have a pledge for you.
If people want me to continue showing up in front of this microphone and bring in solid gold,
solid gold
that I bring, somebody better handle this headphone situation because it's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy.
So I will make a pledge to you.
Yeah.
Today's episode. It's going to blow your mind.
It's going to blow my mind.
It's episode 198. We are
2 away from 200?
2 away from 200. 200 episodes.
Oh my God.
Does that blow your mind? 200 episodes. I think the Smithsonian is going to be calling.
They better.
This is record breaking. 200 episodes of gold.
Solid gold.
So I promise you that on our 200th episode, you'll be able to hear with both ears.
Crystal clear hearing.
The best, like audiophile quality.
I want audiophile quality. I want to be able to speak softly into my microphone. And eat strawberries.
Yes.
Say lots of really important, just sensitive stuff to the audience, and be able to hear it. And be able to hear it in my headphones, the way the audience does.
Yeah. The crazy thing is you're shouting right now, and it's just because
nobody can hear me. I just need better equipment, Jacob. I can't.
Okay.
You can't.
I promise.
If you want this kind of star power,
episode 200, we lock you in a new contract. And on the rider, it says I have amazing headphones. Amazing.
Nothing less than amazing.
The best headphones.
I mean, what are we doing with all this money?
I know, right? All this money.
I keep seeing people, they're coming in with pallets filled with cash. Because of how successful we are.
And I keep telling you.
And I can't get a set of headphones.
And I gotta tell you, it needs to stay in my office. The pallets of cash, it's important that they go there. And I promise you, I'm taking care of it.
Yeah, but why do you light them on fire? I don't understand that part.
Because it's cold in here. And we've been trying to save money on the heating bill. I have to stay warm, though.
The rest of us have candles from that lovely Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works.
But you just like money.
Yeah, I do. Look, hey, I'm doing my part. I am doing my part. We are not going to increase the heating bill. Yeah, the inflation.
Yeah, you're solving inflation.
Both. I'm doing it all. All right. Well, sometimes in the show, I bring topics that are like really riveting and exciting, and it's like easy to talk about. But I think this is one that's boring.
Oh, good. That's fantastic.
So our challenge here today is a way to make it interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if it sucks that bad, but it was one that I saw in an article, and I was like, I thought it was pretty interesting. Like, it's an interesting subject matter, but I just don't know how fun it's going to be. Yeah. But the buzzword of today that we're going to start with is wheat.
Wheat?
Wheat.
Okay.
Wheat. Okay. So the article that began this journey.
What
are you saying? Wheat. Why?
Why on earth would we discuss wheat?
Wheat. Who? What? I saw an article that said exotic wheat DNA could help breed climate-proof crops.
Exotic wheat DNA could help breed climate-proof crops. Okay, let's do it.
So it was the article I saw.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. Talking about wheat and growing wheat is probably not going to be the thing that everybody who listens is going to go, this is the episode I've been waiting for. I want to know about wheat.
Yeah.
But I was also like, okay, this is an interesting subject that sometimes Noel gets really uncomfortable when we take things of the natural world and we alter them. And I was like, maybe he'll be furious and he'll throw his bowl of strawberries at me.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be good. Or we'll just like we do because we produce solid gold, we will riff on wheat and make it great. Okay. So here we go.
All right, let's hear.
Wheat provides more global calories than any other crop.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard of bread?
Yes, bread. If you don't know what wheat is, you're eating it now. Not you.
Not me. I'm eating
That's
strawberries.
not wheat. You're eating strawberries.
But everybody else is eating bread.
Everybody's eating bread. Everybody loves a bread.
It is the global food standard.
Yes.
Honestly, if wheat prices go too high,
yes,
it literally starts riots and wars.
Absolutely. So
like you can almost like the two go together.
Yeah.
The more expensive bread gets, the more people kill each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's the basic food that everybody kind of wants.
Yeah. You know wheat as something you eat, and the thing that when an actor walks dramatically in a field and brushes his hand across it in a slow-mo shot, that is also wheat.
Yes. That is also,
right? You know what I mean?
Wheat. Yeah.
I think it's in Gladiator or something. He's like in a wheat field and he's like running his hands through the wheat field.
They pick that time of the day where the sun is glistening off of the tips of the, so you can see like the little furry edges of the wheat are kind of like shining see-through.
It's a great shot.
It's a great shot.
Every time I see it, I go, next time I see a wheat field, I am going to walk in it in slow-mo for no reason, so I have the footage
with your
of me
hand
doing it.
And then some farmer's going to be like, get out of my wheat field!
Get out of there!
What are you doing? Kill my crops!
You are compromising wheat for an entire city. So it provides more global calories than any other crop, yet most of the wheat grown around the world has limited genetic variation, making it vulnerable to the impacts of climate change.
And why is that?
Okay, so
I know why that is, but why is that?
Wheat is responsible for around 20% of the calories consumed globally and widely grown all over the world, says Professor Anthony Hall, author and group leader at the Earlham Institute. This is in the UK. Earlham. But we don't know whether the crops we're planting today will be able to cope with tomorrow's weather. Okay? So this is mainly, I do have the part that you just asked me, the question, which is why is it... I have so many things highlighted here. Oh my God. Where is it? Well,
this is my favorite part of the show.
This is right. I have so many things. I have so many things highlighted, but I don't know if I have.
You didn't staple them together, by the way, like you were supposed to.
I know.
Now they're gonna be mixing your pages.
I told you I wanted this to be an exciting episode.
This is very exciting.
Very exciting. Yep. No, so obviously the world's climate is changing, and so the temperatures are getting hotter, and the seasons are getting into the wrong times of year when the crop is being gathered, and so they're not able to survive through the heat, so we're losing crops. They're dying out in certain areas because we weren't prepared for it. So that's why, to answer your question. Right.
Well, that's why we're afraid they're going to die.
That's why we're afraid.
But why don't they have variation?
Why don't they have variation? This is not it.
Do you want me to take a guess?
Yes. Will you just take it?
Guess?
Yes. Take a guess. Take a guess. Yeah.
We have a terrible habit when we get into farming of finding the simplest, cheapest way of making the crops.
Yep.
Right? So we're now basically finding the most successful seed that is needed to most easily grow exactly what we want to make.
That's correct.
As opposed to letting wheat just kind of grow wild.
Yes.
And do what it does. Because if you were to let it grow wild, then it would naturally create a lot of variations. You'd have a lot of different kinds of wheat, some that are easier to work with, some that are harder to work with, and it would not be so perfectly ideal as it is now for farming.
Right. That's it.
And with that kind of variation, you would naturally have all sorts of different kinds of wheat, and some would be able to survive warming, some would be able to survive cooling, some would be able to survive whatever.
Right.
Because that's how nature does it. It gives you lots of variation. That's why you who are listening to the show are not the same as your sister or brother. And you in the show are not the same as a person who lives across the street. And why every single person is a little bit different. And we all do things a little bit differently because that's the way that nature does it.
100%.
If everybody's a little bit different, both genetically, both in the way they like to do things, or whatever else, then you're going to have survival.
Right.
Because when something crazy comes along, like, I don't know, a pandemic.
Right.
Right?
We need to prepare ourselves for one of those. I've heard one might be brewing soon.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A percentage of people based on habits, based on genetics, based on all sorts of different variations, variable things, are unfortunately not going to survive that disease.
Right.
And they're going to die off.
Yeah.
But no matter what, even Ebola doesn't kill everybody.
Right.
Some people are just naturally immune. They're just lucky.
Yeah.
Whatever. They just happen to be immune.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Some wheat won't make it. Some wheat will make it.
Yeah.
But if you keep encouraging only one thing to survive because you like the way that it produces a crop for you, you get yourself in trouble once you start to mess with things like climate and water and soil.
Exactly. That's it. That's the definition. That's why we're at this state where we're trying to manipulate the wheat. And one of the things that, as I read further, I was like, oh, when they say the exotic DNA, you kind of have this picture of people like adding things to the wheat that's not wheat in order to make it do this. No, I don't worry about that. They're just using other wheats. They're just using the thousands of variables of wheat. And so this whole process is just splicing different, trying different seeds of wheat to figure out which one can handle it, and that's what they're trying to figure out. So it's not like a weird science experiment.
It's kind of like what they do, like in a couple places. I think in Washington and Minnesota in particular, those universities are really big on apples,
right?
On doing different, like making new apples. A lot of the apples that you try now in the grocery store are not apples that existed even 100 years ago.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's so many, right? And
Fuji,
you think,
Gala.
Oh my God, they're making these apples out of crazy mad science.
Right.
Well, I mean, all they're doing is they're apples have parents.
Yeah.
So they're just
they're messing around with the combinations.
They're just messing the combinations. They're putting two apples that have never met, and they're having them fall in love and make a new baby apple.
Yeah. It's like it's apple breeding.
Yeah.
It's like dogs. It's like cats. It's like you're putting these things together, and that's exactly what they're doing on wheat. That's a perfect example.
And then you make something, and sometimes the apple they make it sucks, like it doesn't taste very good. But then and they might be like, well, we can't sell this, but this apple has these other qualities, so let's mix this apple with this other kind of tasty apple and see what happens. And then you make a totally different apple. The grandkid of two other apples becomes a very popular, successful apple.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, folks.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
When you go to the grocery store and you reach for the apples because there's lots, what's your go-to? What's your one that you grab usually?
Gala.
Me too.
Gala and Honeycrisp.
Yeah. We usually get Gala, Fuji.
I like Fuji. Fuji and Gala taste similar to me.
They're very similar, and they're often side by side, and so you kind of have to check the label, which one you're getting. But Honeycrisp is amazing.
Yeah.
I like Granny Smith, but I can't have them often.
Right,
they're super intense.
It's like a candy almost.
It is
because of the sourness of it is.
Whoa.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Like it's incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if you have it too much, it gets to be too much.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Granny Smith apple? They're green and they're very tart.
Yes,
very
my
tart.
sister loves those. Those are her favorite, but I don't.
Yeah.
Don't prefer them.
Yeah. So that has Granny Smith has to have been somebody figured out how to pair some apples together, and then out came this thing that you were like, whoa, what is going on in this apple? Yeah. And then a classic red apple. Whenever I take a bite out of one of those, it reminds me of my childhood.
Like the Red Delicious?
Yeah, the Red Delicious. Like the one that you think of as like being on the teacher's desk. It's like dark red, but that brings me back to childhood because back then I feel like that was the only apple I was getting. You know what I mean? Before there were more variables. Anyway. I liked our little apple tangent there. So now on the process.
That's how we make the show fun.
That's how we make it zippy and fun. And Jacob didn't staple his pages. Every year, 5,000.
I lost my ear again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. No.
Murder.
200.
Murder.
Sorry, go ahead.
Every year, 5,000 newly bred lines or varieties are tested between November and April. 5,000. In 4 different environments: severe and intermediate drought, late season heat, and optimal conditions. Simultaneously, they are tested in Kenya for stem rust, a fungal disease, and serious threat to wheat. At the end of the season, some of the best performing wheats, this is American Idol of wheat.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's American Idol. At the end of the season, some of the best performing wheats are selected as parents for the next generation of crosses, while others are taken to Toluca. It says Toluca.
Toluca Lake? They take it to Toluca Lake and they make special breads for all the people living under the bridge. Here you go.
For you guys who don't live in Southern California like we do, Toluca Lake is a suburb that's just like right over. It's not too far away.
No.
It's where Bob's Big Boy is.
Yeah.
So take it over to Toluca.
There's some free bread, everybody. It's made from really crummy wheat.
Hey, these are the contestants on Global Wheat Talent that failed.
These are the ones that Simon eliminated. I know he doesn't do the show anymore, but that's how long I watched
Simon. It's Simon. He's like, this is the worst wheat I've ever.
Why did you even show up today? The way that you taste is terrible.
It's terrible.
The songs you sing are awful. You look bad, you smell bad, you taste bad, and I hate you. Let's give them to the people in Toluca Lake.
Toluca Lake. Take it over to Toluca Lake. There's a Bob's Big Boy over there. They take it to Toluca to evaluate their susceptibility to other diseases. Zinc and protein composition, which determines the grain's end use, is also measured. Yeah. So they do all these really, really cool things. In the end, about 1,000 make it through to the second year.
Congratulations, you are the top 1,000 in American Wheat Idol.
That's right. When 2 further test conditions are added, and so it goes until year 5, when the best performers are sent to 100 or so countries to grow.
5 years.
5 years.
That's about how long it's going to take that thing we talked about earlier today to finish as well.
That is.
About
That's
5 years.
The emotions. Yeah, it's going to be a second a day for 5 years.
5 years.
And then we'll finally get there.
Yeah. 1 second of learning.
For 5 years.
And then like an hour of nonsense.
Yes.
For 5 years.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
It's all you could ever hope for. So this process, getting down to 100 or so, sent around to test countries to grow. Yeah. That's critical as wheat is grown on about 220 I'm assuming, million hectares worldwide. From hot and humid conditions in Bangladesh to the arid heat of Nigeria and the chilly mountains of Turkey. So it's grown all over the place.
It's great.
So anyway, I was excited to share this, and this is a perfect example of where Jakey didn't highlight or staple his pages, but I highlighted this last thing here that I thought was cool.
Well, here's something highlighted.
But here's something here. It says about 70% of the world's wheat can be traced back to seeds developed here. So I'm assuming that's here in...
I mean, if they were stapled, you'd know.
I thought that was a cool... What's wrong with me? Oh, my God.
I love this so much.
I know. Oh. So it just says this. So there's like a big wheat. There's like a big wheat, there's people that control it. About 70% of the world's wheat can be...
Big wheat?
Yes. Can be traced back to seeds developed here, yet 4 transnational agrochemical companies control 60% of the global seed market. The big 4.
The big 4.
Big wheat. Focus on yield and produce most of the world's fungicides and pesticides.
Oh, that's the key right there.
Yeah, exactly. Which degrade the environment and reduce biodiversity. So they're basically saying, this is something we got to figure out because big wheat is controlling how we're making our wheat.
For those of you who don't understand why you hear a lot of environmentalists scream at Monsanto and other companies like this, right? Is the way that you can... The way that you can protect your seeds, right? Because people literally patent seeds.
Yeah, and you got to protect your seeds.
This kind of bread is going to be made from this seed. It's really easy to use, and that's what we're going to give the farmers. Yeah. And we're going to protect it so that they can't now make their own variants and make their own versions of this.
Right.
So they'll genetically modify the seed so that it can't produce babies.
Right.
So that you have to keep getting it from the same place.
Exactly.
And then they actually breed the seed so that it does not get affected by whatever pesticide that they're using. Okay?
Right.
So the seed is invincible to the spray.
Right.
But all the weeds and all the bacteria you don't want and all the little bugs and all that, they all die.
Right.
So you can kill all them, but then the wheat's still going to grow and it's going to look exactly the way you want it and be exactly right.
Right.
And then you can keep making huge yields, tons of money, lots of bread. Everybody's happy. No big deal, right?
Right.
Except the only problem is now you've got 4 companies that control all of the wheat and have the only pesticide that is effective in not killing the wheat, but killing all the bugs.
Yeah.
And then they don't necessarily tell you what's in all the pesticides. And then
they control it.
Food problems. And then you have bad bread. And you have people with gluten allergies all of a sudden. And you have all sorts of complications that screw up the way people, and you have increased obesity.
Yep.
You have all of these problems that didn't exist before start to show up because they just do it unchecked.
Yeah, it's true. That's the problem, and that's why I brought up the big wheat and this whole procedure is that a lot of our food systems are controlled by people. And so when we have these countries and places that are, the prices are going up and we have no control over it, this is one of the problems, So as we're developing these wheats that become, heat resistant or can grow and we can feed more people because there are going to be more people, it does call into question, like, this needs to be something that's given back to the world, like this ability to grow food.
Well, we will definitely kill ourselves off.
Yeah.
If we don't do things like they're doing here, where you actually where you actually spend the time to let nature do what it's supposed to do. And in this case, they're speeding that up because they're doing it.
They're doing it for us.
Naturally, the wheat wouldn't just find these two random wheats wouldn't find each other that easily, right?
It would happen over hundreds of thousands.
So we're
of years.
definitely enhancing this, but I'm not against that.
You're not, and that's what I wanted to make sure of. Is this isn't the kind of tweaking that bugs you?
No, it's like when people say to me, okay, so you're drinking milk. Yes, I'm drinking milk. Well, do you know that we're the only animals that drink another animal's milk? And then I say, well, do you know that we're the only animals that do math? You freaking idiot.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we drink something else's milk because we're able to drink something else's milk. Do you think that cat, do you ever wonder why it races for the milk bowl if you leave it down there or your milk? Because it wants it too.
Yes, right. It's true. And look, without milk, we don't get cheese. And I know you're not a cheese fan, but I don't want to live in a world.
Ice cream.
Yeah, you love ice cream. And so I don't want to live on an earth where I don't get cheese and you don't get ice cream.
Look, at some point, we were built this way.
Yeah.
We were intended to be curious.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we wouldn't keep doing this thing if this thing wasn't what we're supposed to do.
Right.
If we weren't supposed to be curious and go out and try things and make things happen, then we shouldn't exist.
Right.
And if the action of us being curious and doing things causes us to cease to exist, then I accept that.
Yeah.
Because that's the game. That's the way we play it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right? So I actually think if we have the capacity to speed up what naturally would have happened in nature anyway, then let's do it.
Let's do it.
If we have a way to bring technology that'll improve the climate, that'll improve the way we do things, let's do it.
Right.
I'm not even entirely against the idea of having crops that are more that grow more successfully, where you can get huge yields because of the system they put together to make sure that you can kill off the things that ruin the yields.
Right.
I'm not totally against that. What I'm against is that group having total control over the entire system. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work.
Yes.
You have to have some variation. You have to have some different things happening. And you have to have guardrails. And the thing that drives me crazy right now about the way the world works is that those who have the financial power have an outsized influence over regulations, over the referees. Yeah. You can now buy the referee in the game, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So like governments are basing their laws on scientists who are given to them by the companies that they're supposed to be regulating.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
We need to have outside people looking at it, evaluating it, and yes, you listen to the company. You hear what they're doing, you get their data, and you accept that they've done a good job at this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they have.
Yeah.
But just because they've done a good job at it doesn't mean that they're doing everything appropriately.
Yeah.
And that they're leaving room for the rest of the world to survive in case of a disaster. Right?
Right.
I just want our dang government to call balls and strikes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what I want.
Wow, man. This is one of those. That was a Noel, dropping the tea, whatever, sharing the tea. He was like, he was just speaking the truth. That's like a clip that if you were to share that, we're gonna get killed.
Yeah, let's get killed.
We're gonna get shot.
Let's go get shot.
Big wheat is gonna hunt us down because you just said so many things. It was like, it's not right. It ain't right.
I don't think it's an unfair statement. I don't. I'm not trying to get.
No, I don't think it's unfair. I think you're right.
I'm not. We have so many people to feed.
Yeah.
The way that we've done it, we have successfully come up with technology that makes it that we can keep feeding a lot of people and avoid wars.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Yeah.
I'm not against really profitable companies finding good ways to do this. I'm not.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. But let's also do the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Cheers. Hey,
I think it's been a good show.
Yeah, Monsanto, is that what you said the name of the company is? Monsanto? That's them calling right now. They found you.
You're gonna. You should probably kiss your children.
Call your family and say goodbye. Run for it, no. No, and then to close out the show before we get out of here, because this was actually kind of interesting. I thought it was cool. As I was digging into the whole wheat thing and the splicing, I saw this that was like, hey, this article lists other crops that you might not know about that we could eat. So these are like things that are like, they're growing in the world, and they've been either taken away, or we just don't know about them, or they're eaten in not in the United States, and they're not eaten here. So I want to see if you guys are familiar with any of these. This is pretty interesting, right?
This is fun.
Okay, so over the course of human history, scientists believe that humans have cultivated more than 6,000 different plant species. But over time, farmers gravitated toward planting those with the largest yields. Today, just 3 crops, rice, wheat, and corn, provide nearly half of the world's calories. So those are the big ones. Rice, corn, wheat.
And do you want to know the funniest thing about corn?
Tell me.
We have corn in almost, like, we burn it for fuel.
Yeah.
We make all of our sugar out of it.
Yeah.
It is in most foods as a flavor enhancer.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere in this country.
Corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup.
And do you want to know the silliest thing about it?
Tell me.
The reason why we have corn in everything is because the first political primary is in Iowa. And in Iowa, they produce a hell of a lot of corn.
Really?
So in order to get those first votes, to get your campaign rolling, to get things moving so that you can maybe get a chance to win your nomination to be president, you got to make the people of Iowa and the people of New Hampshire happy.
Right.
So Iowa, this very sparsely populated state.
Especially back then.
Yeah. In the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Gets all of this, gets all this attention, gets all of these little breaks, gets all these deals, like all this stuff happens to make them happy.
To get the corn.
So that they can vote for the candidate who can then get the nomination to go possibly be president of the United States.
Wow. And that's why corn.
Iowa wants more corn. So we have corn subsidies, like an absurd amount of corn subsidies.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Yep. I did not know that. The more you know. So here are a look at 5 crops beyond rice, wheat, and corn that farmers across the world are now growing in hopes of feeding the planet as it warms. This first one out of the gate, amaranth.
Amaranth, yeah.
Amaranth. Yeah. That sounds like a demon's name, like amaranth.
It's a cool looking plant.
Yeah, So it says the plant that survived colonization. From leaf to seed, the entirety of the amaranth plant is edible. That's kind of cool, right?
Am I red?
Yeah. Standing up to 8 feet tall, the amaranth stalks are topped off with red, orange, and green seed-filled plumes. Across Africa and Asia, amaranth has long been eaten as a vegetable, whereas indigenous Americans also ate the plant's seed, a pseudo-cereal like buckwheat or quinoa. While amaranth leaves can be sautéed or cooked into a stir-fry, the seed is commonly toasted and then eaten with honey or milk. A complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids, amaranth is a good source of vitamins and antioxidants.
Do you remember yesterday when I was having my migraine?
Uh-huh.
And we were looking through all the different
I do.
Amaranth was one of them. That was looking. I was like, I wonder if
so you wonder if maybe you can't have the amaranth.
Yeah, or maybe not. We'll
see.
The dang thing had 25 different seeds and grains.
I bought this bread. I'm on this really kind of specific diet right now, and it's all about whole grains. This is to combat my gout.
Yeah.
And because it cuts out so many good things, but it's like, hey, eat all the whole grains. So I found this bread that had 21 different grain, like seeds in it, flax and all this stuff.
Which is tasty, by the way.
It's tasty bread.
For a highly dense, like, wheat bread, it was pretty good.
Really good, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got fiber in it. It's got omega-3s. So it's a healthy choice. But Noel was like, ate some, and then immediately was feeling like a migraine coming on, and we were like, oh, man. Yeah. Which seed is it?
Well,
and then we got lost.
My doctor said oftentimes it'll be if you're having like a whole seed.
That's what
you get in the skin and everything. Sometimes it'll trigger it. So try to jot down what you ate. And I looked at it and I laughed. I was like, jot down 1,000 things.
Right. So many seeds. So before we move on to the next one, amaranth. Today, indigenous farmers in Guatemala, Mexico, and the U.S. are collaborating to grow this drought-resistant crop. So there you go. The next one up, I want to see if anybody knows this one. Fonio?
Nope.
Yeah. Fonio.
Wow.
It could be fonio, I have no idea. Fonio. The drought-resistant traditional grain.
Okay.
For thousands of years,
Okay.
farmers across West Africa have cultivated fonio, a kind of millet that tastes like a slightly nuttier couscous or quinoa. Historically, fonio is considered to be Africa's oldest cultivated cereal and was regarded by some as the food of chiefs and kings.
Wow.
By the way, if you're like a fonio expert and it is pronounced differently, I apologize. They're probably wincing every time if it's like something fancy. So this is the point where, all right, okay, here we go. In countries such as Senegal, Burkina Faso, and Mali, fonio will be served on holy days, like at weddings and during the month of Ramadan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So today attention is increasingly focused on fonio for its resilience and health benefits. As the climate continues to change, fonio's drought resistance and ability to grow in poor soil has made it a standout crop in water-scarce regions.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
Isn't nature rad?
Nature's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, now this next one has a cool name, easy to pronounce, enough as it is, and I want to know if anybody here has had it. Okay. Cowpeas?
I have not had cowpeas.
Okay. Cowpeas, the fully edible plant.
Okay.
In the 1940s, more than 5 million acres of cowpeas were grown in the U.S.
Wow.
The majority, as their name suggests, for hay to feed livestock. That's how they got the name cowpeas. But long before cowpeas, also called southern peas or black-eyed peas, came to the Americas, they were grown
I've heard the black-eyed peas before.
I have
They're
heard the black-eyed.
great.
They're great. What's their? I got a feeling tonight's gonna be a good night. Yeah.
Tonight's
Can
that's
you
a good
meet
song.
me halfway?
Yeah, they're excited that
Yeah.
night because they're gonna have some cowpeas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a no. Yeah.
Yeah. They had some other hits. I just can't remember. Let's get it started. Or whatever.
Let's get it
Yeah.
started in here.
Yeah, that one.
Da-da-da-da-da.
So they came to the Americas.
Running.
They were grown for human consumption in West Africa. Although cowpea production has declined in the U.S. in recent decades.
Let's get it started.
The crop is hugely important in much of Africa. Nigeria is the world's largest cowpea producer. So if cowpeas are the same as black-eyed peas, I absolutely am familiar with black-eyed peas. I
Right.
used to have those when I was a kid.
Oh, never mind.
So anyway, so that was another one. So you guys, it says bad because cowpeas are highly drought tolerant. They're also a good candidate as the climate changes. So here's another one. Ready?
Ready.
Taro, T-A-R-O.
Sure.
Taro.
Sure.
Yes.
Adapting the tropical crop for colder climes. It says climes.
Climbs.
Is that slang for climate?
That's how cool people say it.
Climes. Oh no, this is a part where I totally botched it and I don't know which page it goes to next because
Turn to the other side.
Yeah, let's see. Oh,
Thank God. You printed front and back. You're good.
okay, thank God. Okay. In the tropics of Southeast Asia and Polynesia, taro has long been grown as a root vegetable, not unlike the potato. But as rising temperatures threaten cultivation, okay, we got it. Every single thing they talk about the thing, it's like, but as the climate's getting bad, it's like, we got it. Let's just talk about the...
Yeah. We're all going to die. Shut up.
Shut up. Tell me about taro. We want to introduce taro because we truly believe that will give us a more secure food system, it says. Like fonio, amaranth, and cowpeas, taro isn't a new crop. It's just new to the U.S. food system, which is why the Utopian Seed Project isn't just learning how to grow taro, but also teaching people how to cook it.
Is it does it have a picture? No, right?
It doesn't have a picture on this, but I will find you a picture of taro. I
think
will.
it's purple. I think I get a drink that's taro. And
Really?
So it's my favorite boba drink. It's
Really?
taro.
Okay, so
Delicious.
we got somebody here who's raving about the taro.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get it taro. Let's get it taro.
In here.
Last crop, and then we can call it a day here.
Okay, we've done a good show. I think we've been entertaining.
I think so too. Don't you think? Don't you think we made wheat fun?
Yes, we're done.
Yeah, we did. Kernza. You heard of Kernza? Kernza.
Kernza.
The crop bred for the climate crisis.
Okay.
While many alternative crops are just plants that were grown somewhere else in the world generations ago, others have been cultivated specifically to withstand climate change. Okay. In 2019, the Kansas-based Land Institute, a non-profit research organization focused on sustainable agriculture, introduced Kernza. Ladies and gentlemen, Kernza. A cereal crop developed from intermediate wheatgrass and trademarked to ensure farmers that they bought seeds from the official breeding program. Although researchers are still working to improve the grain's yield, farmers in Minnesota, Kansas, and Montana are today growing nearly 4,000 acres of Kernza.
Okay.
Yeah, growers immediately understand the benefits of perennials on their landscapes, and Kernza is very appealing. Anyway, it doesn't say much about the flavor about some of these, so I don't know. They could be just
so long as the flavor is cold.
Yeah.
I'll eat it.
Cold filtered Kernza.
Yes.
From the mountains of Kansas.
That's all I care about. Just give me that cold flavor.
Cold flavor. So I think keep an eye out for amaranth, Kernza, taro, cowpeas, all those things. There might be some cool seeds, but don't eat them if they give you migraines like Noli over here. So we got to be careful. I think every day do we give you one different seed?
I think so.
We just have like a
just try to kill
panel. Just try to kill you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that was the wheat episode, guys. Wheat. You put your wheat in there. Yeah.
I'm trying to decide whether we did a good job or not.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
Whether. Yeah. I think we did.
We did.
I think we did.
We did.
I told you, that's the challenge, and that's
you notice
why.
how not all those papers are white?
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, we got some yellow pages.
Some are yellow.
We ran out of paper while I was printing them up, and then we could find yellow pages, and then we realized, hey, man, remember when yellow pages were a thing?
Yeah. It was a good time.
So
That's where I used to order my Whoppers.
Yeah. Why? I had every intention. This is the exact subject matter that I brought in last week. And if you listen to last week's show, I had these on the table ready to go. And then we just decided, no, we're going to talk about life and hard times and stepping out of it. And so you would have thought that with a week notice that I would have them stapled. But I just was like, this is going to be, this show is going to be wild.
It's no fun if that's the case. You know which band is even better for me personally than the Black Eyed Peas?
Who?
Wham.
Wham? Oh, I thought you were going to say Weezer, but I think Wham was the way to go because it has the H in it. Yeah. This was I actually the challenge of being an environmental education show, right?
Yes.
Is sometimes you come across things, and like a teacher with a classroom, you have to go, how do I make the kids care about this?
Yeah.
And so this happens from time to time. We're given something that it's important to talk about crops. It's important to talk about wheat and food systems and systems that need to be taken, because if you listen to the show, you could end up growing up and working and going, we gotta fix this problem. So we're teaching people while we're making them laugh and wet their pants.
Actually, I think it'll be whet their appetite.
Whet their appetite with an H.
Yes.
Whet your appetite. You're right. That was a better way to go. Whet their appetite. But that's the show. Any closing thoughts, anybody, before we do? We have no tags still. Nothing stood out to me, right?
If it doesn't speak to us, we can't speak it to them.
You won me over on whet your appetite. But
maybe.
So maybe it was pretty funny. So before we get out of here, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Biofriendly Podcast. Please share, please post, please like. Let everybody know about our show. We are closing in on our 200th episode where Noel's going to get the greatest pair of headphones his ears have ever beheld. And we're going to continue churning out the hits.
Literally from your lips to my ears, please.
You're from your lips, from my lips to his ears.
Yeah, please.
He wants to be able to hear at least out of both ears.
I just want to hear the show.
Yeah, just want to hear the show. Stop calling. We're wrapping it up. Jeez.
Monsanto's just pissed.
They're trying to kill you.
Pissed.
We have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Whetting your environmental appetite.
It was worth a shot, right? It was worth a shot. Veronica, do you have anything you'd like to say? This is so funny.
Because now she hasn't got it yet.
She hasn't got it yet.
That little,
she's you know it's coming. You got to have a sentence at the ready. Ready?
Stop and smell the flowers.
Stop. Okay.
That's good.
I'm sticking to that one.
That's a good one. I like that.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.